What's up, you guys? It's been a while. It's been a while, and I've been super busy. But just kind of I had a few minutes. It is a super crummy, super rainy day out. I had some time before my daughter gets home from school, so I thought I'd try to do this. I think it's like the fifth time I've tried to do this video. I tried to do it a couple of weeks before we went in the studio. I just wanted to do a rundown of everything that I've accumulated the last couple of years, uh, all the stuff I've modified, things I'm excited about, things I'd like to try to get videos out, show off my pedal board, kind of go over some of the things I am excited about to get this year, some of the goals that we have and things like that. So I'm gonna try to do this, fairly quickly. Um, I have a lot of my stuff up in my office right now because I haven't had the energy and time to move it back down in the basement. But having it up here has been, really a lot of fun to be able to just sit in front of my amps, in my office. So I ordered a couple of microphones. I'm gonna spend some time the next couple of weeks trying to do some good videos, trying to get the hang of mic placement and stuff like that, so I can try to track some good sounds from my amplifiers because I am super excited about what I have right now and extremely satisfied with how it all sounds and works together. So, my office is an absolute mess right now because I got all this gear in here. So I'm gonna get this done so I can slowly start moving stuff out of here before my wife kills me. And yeah, we're gonna start off with some of the guitars and stuff that I have. I've added quite a few. Um, I've tried to do some videos on the things that I've added. I just never really was happy with how they turned out. We'll see how this one turns out, but I'm just gonna throw this one online. So cross your fingers for me. And yeah, we're gonna start with the guitars I have up here, the amps I have up here, my pedal board that's up here, and then I'll run downstairs and show off the last couple guitars I got downstairs. So here we go. All right, so back here on my stand, this is my current collection. All right, so the Ibanez and the Jackson, you guys are familiar with. All right, so here's my bass. I sold a couple Pokemon cards a couple years ago and picked up this bass from Sweetwater. So we got a Jackson bass, about $450 retail, I think, is what this one runs. And it is pretty and it plays like a dream. I actually ended up, we don't have a bassist yet, we're working on getting one, but I actually ended up tracking all the bass parts myself with this bass, and it did an amazing job. The neck is pretty decent. It reminds me a lot of my Jackson guitar as far as like the shape and the playability. So yeah, this is just killer. I get some amazing tones out of this, and yeah, I couldn't be happier with this guy. My Blue Jackson, I did a video on this one. I love this guitar. So I kind of fell into Lundgren, so I actually swapped these out. I had the Keith Merrill Fishmans in here. I swapped them out for Lundgrens. I just fell in love with how these things feel and sound. And so we got a Lundgren M7 in the bridge and a Black Heaven in the neck, right? And then I threw a pre-wired harness from Sweetwater on here, which is lightning fast control knobs and the 5-way selector. So yeah, I need to calm down sometimes, but I just, this is one of my workhorse guitars. And once I fell in love with the Lundgrens, I just had to get them in here too. So right here, this is where the Lundgrens started. So I found this at Sweetwater, they have a little used store in their main store at Fort Wayne, just a little spot that they have. And this was like $8.99. Brand new. These are like $1,200-1,300, and it came with a hard shell case. I've wanted this ever since they launched online. Just love the body style, love the look, the finish, everything is just amazing. Even the pick guard shape, there's something cool about that. You see all the pick dust on there because this was my main guitar when we were recording. It sounded amazing. The Evertune obviously was great. You know, nothing even needed tuned while I was recording. But the first thing I did when we bought it that day, because of the price that I got it, I just immediately ordered a Lundgren M7 set because I had just been reading on and on about how much people love these things. So with the price that I got this for, that was just going to be the perfect guitar to try this out in. And yeah, I'm a little bit obsessed with it, which makes it really difficult because I also love my Guitarmery brand pickups. But the Lundgren M7s, they're just amazing for the kind of music I like to play. So that's one of my favorite gear purchases. Probably my favorite gear purchase of last year. My Jake Bowen Ibanez, which is my first real love of a 7-string guitar. I still love this. All of our leads were tracked with this guitar. All of my leads were tracked with this guitar when we recorded. This thing just plays like butter. And so I modded this with Guitarmery Orion pickups. They just did like a little limited run. Again, I need to clean that a little bit more, apologize. But they did a limited run of this just completely black cover, and I just thought it looked really neat. So I snagged a pair, and for this guitar, these pickups are just absolutely amazing. Tone-wise, this guitar still is way different than all my other guitars. These things really kind of make it shine in a way that the DiMarzio Titan pickups just couldn't do it. So this sits way better in the mixes, but this is definitely like a different monster than the Atlas. They're thicker, they're different than the Lundgrens, but they're just really fitting for this guitar, and they look snazzy too. So that's it for this guitar. I don't have anything else I want to do to this guitar. I don't have anything else I want to do to any of those three. Those three are amazing. Here we have my Mesa 4x12. This is the oversized 4x12. So I got this for like $450 a couple of years ago. Obviously, absolutely love this thing. It is a beast. I wanted to swap some speakers out at one point. The thing sounds so good, especially in the studio or in a room like this. I just don't feel the need to spend anything to swap a couple speakers out. It just does the job it needs to do, and I'm just gonna leave it as is. My Synergy 50 head. This thing is amazing. It ruined a lot of other guitar amps for me. I bought this originally specifically because of the Pitbull Ultra and the Bogner Uberschall. Those things are both absolutely stunning. Just crushing high gain tones, and then you can get some surprisingly good cleans or crunch out of the lower gain channel on that. The Powerball module definitely has its own characteristics. It's really fun. The cleans on that one, I can get some really wild clean tones out of it, so I'm really happy with that. But as far as the head itself goes, I love the 50-watt head. The thing does everything I want it to and then some. The effects loop is just the cleanest effects loop I've ever used. Running delays and reverb through that is just amazing. Just feel like Synergy is just totally slept on still. Even though it's got a pretty decent following online now, I just don't think enough people have put the time into checking it out. We have a Krankenstein 4x12. It's got very new Texas heat speakers in it. I tried to repaint the grill. It needed a little bit of love, and the paint did not want to hold on to it, so I'm gonna have to strip it down and redo that whole thing, which is fine. But I got this for about $500. For some reason, I just felt really drawn to these the last couple years, and Music Go Round has had one for like the last 6 months. So I finally said after the holidays, like, hey, if that's still there, I'm gonna buy it. And hey, it was there. So we picked it up. Absolutely wicked tones out of this thing. It's beat up, it's old, I love it. And then my newest edition, so I got this stuff for Black Friday. So we got a KSR PA50 power amp, and I got the Synergy rack. I'm going to start building a rack around that with the Soldano SLO, and the Powerball modules are what I got for Black Friday. And then the Ubershaw module. All of this just sounds incredible. That Soldano is just a whole, everything is just a totally different beast than the other one. In the studio, we ran nothing but the Pitbull and the Soldano for the high gain stuff on all of our tracks. Both the rhythm guitars, both the lead guitars in the studio, they sounded just incredible. And so that's it for my amps. I've got those two, I've got those modules, and it's everything I want. Honestly, it's better than what I ever thought I could get. We got an extra pack of string source, and then NYXLs are kind of back up. So let's look at my pedal board real fast. Okay, so here's my pedal board. It is all wired up for 4-cable method. That's why there's just stuff everywhere and everywhere. When I'm playing at home, all my sounds are coming through this. So everything going to the computer directly into my DAW. For some reason, I just like it plugged into my DAW. Really, like, it just kind of buffers the front end signal going into my amp, and then everything else right now just kind of runs through the loop. I don't really put anything in front of it right now. The Direwolf is in front. That's the only effect I have going into my amp. And then the Lone Wolf Audio Endless Blockade. That's a 4-cable method, and that just puts the clamp down so that when I am playing on these crazy high gain amps with an overdrive in front of them, there's just no noise when I'm playing anything. So that's it. Keep it simple, and just eliminates a lot of extra issues. Even with just what I have, you know, I've had multiple times where I have a little issue because just one of these random little patch cables goes bad. I'm good with that, and it keeps me from buying all kinds of pedals. So now let's go down to the basement, look at those last couple things real quick. Okay, so here we go. The Ibanez bass right there, we actually picked up with the red Solar guitar, and my wife, who's a heck of a bargainer, I think we ended up just spending like less than $100 on this. She just really liked the look of it, and so we grabbed it just because. I picked this up for the studio because we don't have a bass player yet, and I just wanted to track everything myself without having to rely on anybody's amplifier or anything like that. So it's just a little Ampeg Portaflex bass. When I run the dark glass going into that thing, it is wicked. So yeah, very, very happy with that. I didn't necessarily need it, but I kind of wanted one, just to, like a small bass amplifier to have at home, and super, super happy with that. Here we have my Schecter Keith Merrill Artist guitar. This thing plays like a dream. This still has the Keith Merrill pickups in it. I would like to probably at least change the bridge to Leonard M7. Got an incredible deal on this from my buddy at Sweetwater. Yeah, this is the best playing guitar that I have. So here we have another Keith Merrill. I did a video on this one. I have not modded it. I had a couple times where I almost sold it because the value of these has gone up so much, and I got an incredible deal on it. But then I sit down and play it before I go to sell it. I mean, I've had offers on it, and I just had to back out of it because My wife and I love it on the wall. It looks awesome. It's very, very unique. And even just the pickups that are on it, I mean, they're so like good stock that I haven't even ordered anything to put in there. So I haven't even put locking tuners on it. I don't play it that much, but that is just a solid guitar. All right, and we're all familiar with my 7 string 27-inch scale RG iron label, or Ibanez iron label. I didn't end up taking it to the studio because I didn't have room. I will take it next time. But yeah, I love this guitar. I play it all the time. It's still just amazing. Then we have this guitar, which I got for a steal off of Reverb. It's an Ormsby 6-string, all Wenge neck and fretboard. The only thing is, I'm pretty sure it's got a plastic nut on there, so that's the only thing I'm going to mod on that one. Gold hardware is sick. The pickups are really, really pretty good. I need to have like the frets leveled off, which is a common issue. But as far as like the fret edges themselves and the fretboard edge, that's amazing. Nothing sharp on that at all. Like just amazing work on that. And here's my classic. I've had this thing for a long, long time. I upgraded all the hardware on it to basically what would be on an E1000 model. This is a 500. It's an Eclipse. If you do metalcore and hardcore, you have had one of these. You have probably had one of these at some time. Yeah, I love this thing. So it's not going anywhere. It's just not worth selling. It means too much to me. It's just kind of a remembering my roots kind of guitar. But I've had that for a real long time. All right, so I tried to make that quick. What do I want to get this year? I love everything I have. I really, really do. I don't have a lot of mods that I'm gonna do on any of this stuff now. For this year, I'm excited about. Number one is the John Brown signature Schecter. Looks amazing. I really think I'm probably gonna pick one of those up. I really want to get a 7-string Ormsby as well. I may add a Jackson with an Evertune. I really enjoy Jackson guitars. My wife thinks that I look really good with the Jackson guitar for some reason. I think that's a compliment. Amplifier wise, I know there's more Synergy modules coming out this year. My understanding is sometime in the first half of the year we'll get a 5150 module. I may at some point grab like a backup head. It's pretty much option paralysis when it comes to high gain tube heads and delay and reverb pedals and overdrives at this point. So I'm not in a rush to get anything like that. It's going to be a little bit before we go back and record a couple more songs. So, but right now I just am trying to plan ahead. I need to build a small like rack for my Synergy rack mount stuff. Other than that, like what am I looking forward to? I really like what I'm seeing from Schecter for 2023. For the stuff that I like, and really just kind of in general, I'm disappointed with Ibanez for the first kind of release that they're going to do for 2023. There was nothing that grabbed me. Jackson, there's a couple of the Evertune ones. There's the Misha with an Evertune that came out, and then the Pro Modern with an Evertune. I would really consider those. I got a couple I'm watching on Reverb. I think one of the big ones for Jackson is that Jeff Loomis 7-string. Thing is just gorgeous. I really am having a hard time like not buying one of those right now. I haven't seen, obviously we haven't seen like the 2023 Jackson lineup yet, so I'll be looking forward to actually seeing that. We haven't really seen the Schecter one yet. We've just had like a few models trickle out, and yeah, I'm pretty excited for what they're bringing to the table. So let's outside of that, so far So far, nothing crazy. Pedals, I don't care about. There's nothing new coming out that I'm like, oh my god, I need that. There's lots of new stuff. I went the Fractal route so I don't waste a bunch of time and money on pedals. Plain and simple. The Direwolf is just an amazing overdrive. There's not, like, much like why I'm not interested in collecting a bunch of amplifiers. There's nothing that I'm gonna buy that's gonna cost way more money that will be worth the difference in quality or the difference in the sound that I will get from what I currently have, if that makes sense. I don't have to sell a piece of gear to justify buying a piece of gear like I used to. That's a pretty amazing feeling, and that's also partly why I talk myself out of buying a lot of stuff. Because, like, realistically, I don't need more guitars. I don't really like to collect things like that, but I am kind of, growing more and more into this role of getting back into, like, kind of being a musician. And, it's kind of a fun time, kind of just again, like, it feels like I'm very, very fortunate and lucky, and extremely happy what I've been able to kind of get back into and do. I always talk myself out of buying more gear because I know I don't need it, but I'm extremely grateful to be able to have it. As long as I'm utilizing it, I will not get rid of it, and that's only push me harder and harder to make music or to get out there and do stuff with it. That's it. I'll shut up now. And I hope to throw something else together this week and start recording on some of those things and show some stuff off. So thank you. Stick around. We'll see you.